Going live, going live. This is taking. Oh, we're live.
All right. Hey, welcome. It is Paul Farmer. I'm joined here with my lovely wife, Mariana,
Hello.
and she's actually making a guest appearance here.
Yay.
She's not usually here. This is Freedom Project Live, episode 132. And today, what we thought would be fun is to go over the power of decision. The power of decision. And I think it's going to be fun because we're going to get some of her feedback, her ideas about it. And then she actually put together a really awesome illustration. I told her to just draw something up real quick. Well, she did a whole cutout thing. And
I can't help it. Okay, I'm crafty.
Anyways, you guys know from yesterday, I said it was going to be, it's our anniversary today. 4 years married now. So happily married.
How long have we been together, though?
Like 10.
Good job, honey.
Yeah, I was slow getting to the proposal, but
took a while.
Yeah,
we got there.
But you waited. It's all good. So yeah, that's a decision right there. Actually, that wasn't even planned, but I just thought about that right now.
That is true.
That's a big decision.
That was a big decision.
So we're going to be talking about the power of decision. That's what we're going to be going over. She put together a great little illustration for you. I think it's going to be fun, and we're just going to get right into it. So the main thing, like the reason I thought about doing this today was because I've been talking to people quite a bit, and you could just by their, like when they're talking to me or when they're texting me, you could just tell that like trying to make a decision is like such a big thing for them, and they're being pulled in all these different directions. Like, should I do it? Should I not do it? And this can carry on for a very long time. And what happens is nothing happens. If you don't make a decision, nothing happens. So really what you want to do, successful people, they're known to make decisions quickly and change them slowly, while unsuccessful people they make them fast, right? They make them slow. Make them slow, but change them quickly. So they're constantly bouncing from one thing to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. Successful person sticks with it and sees it through. So do you want to add anything before we move on?
No, I mean, that's a perfect explanation.
All right. And then I just want to give just a couple stories of my personal life, and then it will make more sense when you see the illustration. So there's been basically two major decisions, like 2 times where I've had to really make a decision that I didn't know what was going to happen. Like it was like either my back was against the wall, and if it didn't work out, it wouldn't have been good, right? But I made that decision. And so there's different types of goals. So we have an A goal, and we don't have a chart for this, but we have an A goal, a B goal, and a C goal. And an
Not a flying seagull.
No, a C, like
C.
the letter C. Okay. And so the A goal is where you're at now. It's where you're at now. It's what you already know you can do. That's an A goal. That's not moving you. That's not making you grow. There's really no decision involved in that, right? A B goal is something that you feel like you can reach, but it's not way out there, right? And then you have your C goal. And the C goal is like the fantasy. It's like way out there.
$1 million houses. And
you have no clue
Ferraris.
How you're going to achieve it, but it's out there, right?
Or maybe owning an island if you already have a Ferrari. No, I don't know.
So the C goal that's where you're going to move the most. That's where the most is going to happen. That's where the most change is going to happen in your life. But it's also the most scary. And this is where we're going to talk. We're going to actually do an illustration and show you what's happening when you do step into, make that decision to go after your C goal. So before I do that, though, let's give you just a couple real quick stories. So there was a time I used to be a teacher, a PE teacher, and there was a time where it was literally like I'd been laid off. I didn't have really any money coming in, and like I came to a point, like savings is dwindling. I came to a point where it's like, okay, what am I going to do? Right. And I was presented with an opportunity. And long story short, I made the decision to pursue the opportunity. Okay. It was very scary. It cost money I really didn't have, but I made that decision to do it. And my first 2 years online, we just go back, my first 2 years online, like I didn't have any results. Like they were terrible, terrible. And it's going to make so much sense when you see this illustration, because I didn't understand why this happened until I saw it. But so I wasn't getting results. I made a decision to do something that was very uncomfortable for me, very scary for me, back against the wall. I set an intention. I was like, I'm going to do it. And I didn't look back. I'm just going to do it. And long story short, I was able to go to, I had a 10,000 plus month within 3 months of making that decision. I'd never done that before. The whole 2 years, I think I made like a total of $200 in my online business. And that was working every single day. Okay. So another story, and I'm keeping these short, but is I was in a place again where income was kind of drying up. I mean, it wasn't great. I didn't really have the money, but I made the decision to do this, to go all in this opportunity. Like, so to purchase everything, to do something that was out of my comfort zone. Like my credit cards were already maxed out basically. And I made the decision to do that. Now at the time I was making about $50 or less a week in this program. When I made that decision, I shot up to over 2,000 weekly pay within a 3-week period of time. So until I actually saw what we're going to show you today, I didn't understand like why this happens. I just knew if you step in faith, great things happen. But I never really understood really what was going on. So ready to get to the illustration?
So I'm going to be the Vanna White. You're going to be explaining. We have this fancy clipboard here and some lines representing our frequencies, and the frequencies that surround us or around the world. It's pretty much physics, right? Like science, or a part of our nature, part of
so basically like we're not like law of attraction experts or anything. but we're all connected to different frequencies. And so down here is like the lower frequency, and up here is the higher frequency. And where the magic happens is up here in the higher frequency. So where things stay the same, where you're getting poor results, where I was getting poor results my first 2 years online was because I was down here on this lower frequency. I wasn't up here. I was down here. So because our thoughts bring us to where we're at. So we'll go over that in just a minute. But so what we want to do, we're going to talk about our goal. So go ahead and put that goal on there. Remember I said A goal, B goal, C goal. We're talking about a C goal. We're talking about a goal that's out of reach right now. It's something that like, it's a fantasy. It's not something that even makes sense to you. You're like, well, I don't have any money. I don't have any expertise in this. I have no clue how I'm going to do this. Right. That's what that is. So I don't know how you want to do this. You want to put the little things.
So we have results based upon the thoughts that we have in our current state of mind, right? And those thoughts are what keep us or move us around throughout these different frequencies. So we're going to have these little clouds as our thoughts for the results that we're at right now. And then there's also thoughts that bring us up higher to a higher frequency that help us to reach our goals. And those are floating around up here on these higher frequencies. So I like to think of this almost like how I feel it is like, I feel it most when I hear music. So my frequencies are more are higher when I'm listening to positive things or reading positive books, listening to music that makes me happy. Usually, when I'm at church, worship music, all of that helps me bring me up to a higher frequency. And that's kind of where I'm visualizing this kind of thing. That's where I'm that's what I would think of it as, like those higher frequencies when you're feeling happy and joyful and, you know, just all in all in a more higher state of mind, I guess.
Yeah. So like the lower down here, this is where you feel overwhelmed, you feel frustrated, you have thoughts of doubt, worry, anxiety, depression. All that is down here. And this down here, you don't want to be you don't want to be here, because nothing great is going to come into your life here.
And I should have put current results here, because obviously our results can change once, you know, as we move through these frequencies. So I don't know, I'll let you finish. Sorry, go ahead.
So what's going to happen here, and remember, these are different frequencies vibrating on a different level, whatever you want to call it, higher level of energy, right? When you make a decision, so when you step in faith, you make that decision,
A committed decision.
you make a committed decision. Now what that's going to do is that's going to move you towards your goal. Now what that's going to do is bring you up to the higher frequency. Okay, you're going to have thoughts that are going to move you to your goal. So what's going to happen here, and what I never understood, was because you make that decision, you step in faith. Now what's happening is you're going to start attracting the right people to you.
Mm-hmm.
Doors are going to open up for you that never opened before, because your thoughts have changed. You made a committed decision. You're stepping in faith. You're not living your life in fear. You're not allowing fear to control you. So what happens to a lot of people, though, and you know, it's happened to me, it's happened to her, is when you don't make a decision.
Boop. It says no decision.
So you have this goal up here, but you can't make up your mind, right? So you're looking at this bigger goal up here, and you're like, oh, you know, how am I going to get the money? I don't have any money. Or I don't know how to do it. I don't know anybody. And you start saying these things, right? And little by little, you're going to talk yourself out of going for that goal. And what's going to happen is the goal is going to fade. And before long, because you didn't make a decision, you're back down here with these bad thoughts, lower frequency thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
and your results are showing up that way. Like lack of results, not good results, not results you want. But it all changes when you make a decision and you decide, you commit that you're going after that goal. You don't know how it's going to happen. You're going to break through that terror barrier. You're just going to go for it. And the thing is, when you do that, like, you relieve yourself of so much stress to begin with. Because think about it. If you're trying to make a decision and you're like, well, I don't know if I should, I don't have the money, this could go wrong, that could go wrong, everything can go wrong. And then you're on this side, well, maybe I should do it. And you keep going back and forth like that. Like, you're wasting a lot of energy. You're wasting a lot of time, your most valuable resource. Mm-hmm. And if you've ever been in a place where you're trying to make a big decision, and once you make that decision, don't you feel like a weight lifted off your shoulders? Don't you feel like, yes, I made the decision, now I can move forward, instead of being in this place where you're just like going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, right, and just driving yourself nuts. You're starting to get overwhelmed, frustrated. You probably get a headache because this stuff.
You get stomach issues. It starts affecting all kinds of stuff.
Starts affecting everything. So you want to make a decision. That's the main thing we're saying here. So whatever your goal is, whatever it is, whatever your C goal is, not your A goal, not your B, your C, the one you really want to go after.
Don't know how.
Even if you don't know where the money is going to come from, even if you don't know what it is you have to do to get there, what has to be in place, all that stuff starts happening when you make that decision. So that's, I hope this helped with the illustration.
We got it from
yeah, this is from the Paradigm Shift, Bob Proctor.
Yeah,
so
from Bob Proctor.
He actually talked about this. She put together the whole.
Recreated it a little.
She put together the whole illustration. So it's very creative that way. Not me though. Not me at all. But do you have anything else you want to say about making a decision?
Maybe just want to kind of talk about, like, a few things that you could do to start helping you to make quicker decisions. So something that I've done, I don't know that I've always taken too long of a time. I'm shaking the table now. I haven't like always been the type of person that like takes a super long time to like I think you take longer to make decisions than I do, technically. But I kind of take a little bit of time, but not as long as he does.
I've gotten better though.
You have gotten better, but when I met you, I mean, like it was like, whoa, like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah. When we moved,
what's happening?
when we moved to Texas from California, that was like a huge decision for me, and I literally did everything I could not to do it.
It took us, I think, 2 years to when you first initially started thinking about it. Anyway, so like for me, some of the things that I have done for my own, to help my decision making is just taking like smaller decisions and just making them quicker. So like if I'm, for example, finding something to wear for work in the morning, rather than like taking the whole 10-15 minutes while I'm sitting there wet from just getting out of the shower trying to figure this out, I just grab, I did organize my clothes a little bit to make it easier to just grab from like certain sections. So I just grab the first thing that's on the rack in the order that they're in, and then just go from there. I don't have to be, taking so much time on something so little that doesn't really, it's not really going to make such a big impact on you. So it's one of the little things that has, I think, for me mentally helped me to kind of move that decision-making skill or muscle or whatever you want to call it. So
that's a small decision. What's like a C?
Yeah. No, that's what I mean. So to help you start practicing and making decisions for these bigger things, start with the small stuff and just make those decisions quicker. Just move through those really fast. And that helps to move that decision building muscle, if you want to call it that. So that way, when you're making bigger decisions, like business building decisions or major C goal decisions, you're not as worried about what the outcome is going to be because you kind of have that practice with the smaller things. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I hope that helps. Just something that I've been practicing. So
yeah, I would just say too that, once you make a decision what you want to do, just know it's on its way. You got to expect it, yep. Right? And it's on its way. The plan's going to come together. Like you're going to meet the right people, all that. You just got to stay in that higher frequency. So this is kind of going on a different topic, but like I did something about affirmations on yesterday's video, and your definite purpose and all that. Just staying clear on that is definitely going to help as well. But yeah, just anytime you're in a place where it's like you can't make a decision, you're having a hard time, just think about how you're feeling at that point. Mm-hmm. Remember what we talked about here. Do you want to stay down here and end up getting the same results you got the year before or worse? Because this is Stuckville. This is not where you want to be. You got to step in faith, make that decision, yep. And go for it. And I know for some people, even a $7 decision yeah. it is like, it's so bad for them, that they oh man, I can't do it. I can't do it, and they talk themselves out of it and never do anything. That's just like a minimal thing. But yeah, so that's about all we got for today, right? Mm-hmm. Anything else?
Not that I can think of. Just happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. All right. So
well, Lisa says very helpful. Good. I'm glad. Very happy to hear that it's helpful for someone.
All right. Yeah. And just keep this illustration in mind. I think that really helps, especially if you're going through that process. For me, it definitely helps. Like when I see, okay, so I'm down here and I want to go up there, this is where things are going to start be attracting to me.
Yeah.
I always thought that, when you make the decision, you take action and all that, but
yeah,
I never realized that you're going to attract better things to you, that you're going to attract the things you need to attract to reach the goal you want to attract. And there's so many stories about this kind of thing. Like during the Paradigm Shift event, there was a lady, she's an author, but she was going through she was looking for a house, right? And she didn't have any money to get the house, but she made the decision just to get the house, but she didn't have the money. She didn't know how she's going to do it, nothing. But she made that decision. She made that commit decision. She didn't have the money. She didn't know how it was going to work out, nothing, right? But she was doing like affirmation. She was listening to positive things, and she just put it in motion. That's what you got to do. You got to put it in motion. And that's when it comes in. So there you go. So that.
Oh, sorry. One other thing, like I just wanted to give like another little illustration and almost like an example of life, I guess you can say. Something that I think I learned it from Darren Little, but regardless, you kind of have to like think of these different frequencies or levels, I guess you can say, as like a video game, right? I don't know if you play video games or if you've seen your kids play video games, but if you notice in each game, there's different levels that you have to beat. There's different doors that open up for you. So you think of life as your video game. Your major C goal is the finish line, if you want to see it that way. And the different levels that you're reaching are the different thoughts and frequencies that you're raising yourself up into, right? So in another, just a quick little illustration, just to kind of give you that visual. Next time you're watching a video game, you'll remember, oh, my frequencies, my thoughts need to raise up higher and higher and higher, right? So just another example of opening doors and letting life do its process. So
All right, awesome. So I think that's all we got for today. Appreciate you coming by, stopping by. Hope you got value. Hope and trust you got value. And if you like this kind of thing, just write a comment. Let us know if you like us coming together and sharing some ideas. And with that, that's all I got for today.
Yep.
All right. Make it a great day.
Have a great one.